Good afternoon. Today is Sunday, May 31st, 2020. The breaking news about George Floyd, US protest over police brutality intensify. Several US states activate National Guard troops as protest over police killing of unarmed black people. Another round of protests is gripping major cities across the United States against police brutality and violence, especially against unarmed black people. Several states have called in National Guard troops to help quell the protests, some of which have turned violent. Cities nationwide have also implemented curfew, but protesters appeared undeterred. Protesters in Minneapolis, Minnesota have pledged to continue until all four officers involved in the death of George Floyd, an unarmed black man, are charged. Floyd died on Monday after a white officer knelt on his neck. Officer Derek Chauvin has been charged with the third-degree murder and manslaughter. The other officers have not been charged. Trump orders Pentagon to put military police on alert, saying they may be deployed to Minnesota. On fifth night of unrest in Minneapolis, protesters met a more aggressive response. Protesters who took to the streets in Minneapolis for the fifth straight night on Saturday met a more determined response from police officers and National Guard troops. As demonstrations escalated in dozens of cities across the country, an outpouring of national anger spread by the death of the black man in police custody. Soon after an 8 p.m. curfew took effect, the police in Minneapolis began arresting protesters and firing tear gas and other projectiles toward the crowd, and the National Guard used a helicopter to dump water on a burning car. The forceful response reflected the desire of authorities to halt the violent protests that have spread nationwide since George Floyd, 46, died after being pinned down by a white Minneapolis police officer. There were still reports of violence and destruction: a fire on the roof of shopping mall, a person who shot a gun at officers, and a group of people throwing items at the police. But state officials said around 11 p.m. local time they were encouraged by the smaller crowds and apparent decrease in damage. Much of the city was empty shortly after midnight. But even as aerial videos from Minneapolis showed police officers largely keeping demonstrators at bay, other cities were being overwhelmed despite hastily imposed curfew. Thanks for watching TV Khabar News Studio. Have a nice day. Take care.